Chaim Trapper was a young man learning in Kollel, living in Kew Gardens. His sister and brother-in-law were living in Forest Hills. His wife and his sister-in-law had made up that both couples were going to be that Shabbos at Chaim's house. Chaim's wife had cooked Shabbos. She prepared everything. Late Thursday night, she gets a call from her sister. My husband's tired. We've decided we're not coming for Shabbos. Chaim's wife says, what do you mean you're not coming? I cooked, I prepared, you can't come. Do come, don't come, back and forth. And finally, Chaim's wife said, listen, I cooked already all the food anyway. Let me pack up the food, and instead of you guys coming here, we'll both go to your house. That's in fact what they decided. Instead of being by Chaim, they both decided to be by his brother and sister-in-law that Shabbos. Chaim describes that when he got to his brother-in-law's apartment, in the hallway there, on a table, there was a book called Who by Fire. Who by Fire is a very, very powerful book. It's a story of a young woman living in Yerushalayim. She was in her apartment when the apartment burst into flames. She quickly ran out, found herself in the hallway untouched, and recognized the fact that her children were still in the apartment. She ran in, grabbed one child, ran in, grabbed a second, grabbed the third. She saved all of her children. Her children were largely unhurt, but she ended up suffering burns on 85% of her body. The book is a powerful example of a woman's emunah, bitachon, her trust in God. But it's also a harrowing read because it demonstrates what it means to be burnt alive. In any case, Chaim picked up that book and he describes that he was mesmerized. He was pulled to it. He couldn't put it down. He read it cover to cover that Shabbos. Shabbos afternoon by Mincha, he walks into the yeshiva, and as he enters the Beis Medrash, he takes a siddur, and he notices that everyone is looking at him. Is it my suit? Is it my tie? Why is everyone staring at me? He doesn't understand what to make of it. He daven Shemona Esrei. After davening Shemona Esrei, he takes 3 steps back. He looks up and he notices again everyone is looking at him. Am I mismatched? Why is everyone staring at me? After davening, he goes over to one of his friends and says, why is everyone looking at me? His friend said, you didn't hear? No, hear what? His friend said, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but last night your house burnt down. Apparently 2 a.m. the furnace burst into flames. The entire house was engulfed. It was a 3-family house. Unfortunately, another family was in there. They were badly burnt. Chaim, his wife, his children were untouched. But the lesson that Chaim learned was not that the pivotal moment of his existence was that conversation Thursday night. That conversation, come to us, go to you, back and forth, was not the determinant of his existence. It was on the previous Rosh Hashanah. We say the words in Hasana Tokef, Hashem decides who will live and who will die, mi ba'esh mi ba'mayim, who by water, who by fire. Not just who will live and who will die, but the exact method of their leaving the planet. Chaim was being shown a message. That book was a line item by line item description of a judgment that was held the previous Rosh Hashanah, and he and his family were saved from it. But see it, read it, understand it in vivid detail. This was the judgment from which you were saved. The reality is we live through a judgment on Rosh Hashanah. Our entire fate, our entire future is decided. Many, many decrees we're saved from, some were not. All of it is dependent on our relationship with Hashem, where we're headed, what life is about. When I understand that, when I recognize the gravity of the issues, and I recognize that I can affect change by praying, by reaching out to Hashem, it changes my entire relationship with the holiday of Rosh Hashanah, changes my relationship with Hashem, ultimately can change my existence on the planet.